When I was approached to be a part of the UMAMI series, I jumped at the opportunity. For one, I love Annie's music, and it's just an opportunity for me to kind of push myself. This is my first remix. I kind of wanted to see how I would portray myself through someone else's music. The results for me kind of surprised me. I'm Jenkins Jnr, also known as Not a Boy's Name, and today I am remixing Annie Hamilton's Panic for Happy Magazine. I relate to Panic itself. I think I feel it like almost constantly on a daily basis. I'll be using Live 11 to put all this together. Annie is one of those people that I've admired for a long time. We were kind of doing the same festivals and that sort of thing, and we've always gotten along. And then seeing her pursue her solo career, not trying to follow other people's definitions, that's something that I've always been really impressed with. It just seemed like the perfect fit to be able to tackle one of her songs.
I'll do anything for you.
My music is just a big pot of like mixed ingredients. They don't taste very good on their own, but when you mix them together, it kind of makes sense. I've been playing since I was about 6 years old. A drum kit cake that my mum made, that's pretty good. My dad played the drums, so growing up we had drum kits all around the house, and my mum had a guitar that I used to mess around with. Like I had, my parents' old cassette decks and stuff that had an input on them, so I would plug my guitar like straight into that. And then when early forms of computer recording came in, I could do more. And from there it just kind of evolved. And I picked up Ableton about 5 years ago, I think, and I never looked back. I found it so easy to use and so intuitive. All right, that's my home studio. Now I'm gonna head to Golden Retriever, my studio space in Marrickville, and I'm gonna put the remix together. What I'll start doing is building the track up using samples I've pre-recorded, analog synths, guitars, my bass that I use on everything, and just building it up from there and kind of seeing where I get. My prediction for my version of Panic, intensity. I'm gonna get stuck in. Let's see how we go. Okay, so one of my favorite new features in Live 11 is the hybrid reverb. I've started using that on everything. I've found that it just ticks all the boxes. Basically what it is a mixture of the convolution reverb from Max for Live with a bunch of great new features like EQ and different reverb modes. And it's just really fun and really intuitive to use. Okay, now I'm gonna put the hybrid reverb on some drums. Then I can mix that with my dry drums. And there's just a hint of the hybrid reverb there. I'm gonna be using the new comping feature in Live 11, which basically speeds up the whole process of comping. Now they've embedded this process that is super quick and super creative. And I'm gonna be using it in an unconventional sense. I'm not gonna be using it to comp vocals or guitars or drums or anything like that. I'm gonna be using it to build a new part from a few different guitar takes. All right, now I'm gonna expand the take lanes, and that's gonna give me all the takes that I just performed. I'm gonna use little bits and pieces of all of them to create one wacky master take. So I'm just gonna go through in the hopes that I land on something wacky. Let's have a listen to what that sounds like. Okay, it's a thing. I'm gonna keep messing with that. What Annie does with music is very unconventional. The way that she writes songs and the way that she tells stories is very unconventional. So I think she'll appreciate this for what it is, which is something just out of the ordinary. What I really want to do is expose people to some different sounds. Something that maybe isn't that popular at the moment. A lot of my interests and a lot of the things that I like existed like 20 years ago, 30 years ago. But now you can do similar things with Live Suite and plugins, and you can create these beautiful new textures and new sounds that I think are really interesting. And that's something that I'd love people to take away from this, is just like a quenched thirst for new sounds. So yeah.